all of us today since we have the gracious presence of Her Grace Urmila Devi Mataji. Her Grace Urmila Devi Mataji is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada and a renowned personality in ISKCON. This is the second time Mataji is visiting our Bhakti Yoga Center, and it's a great privilege and honor to introduce Mataji to all of you. Her Grace Urmila Devi Mataji is officially known as Dr. Edith Best and was born in New York City in 1955. Mataji joined ISKCON in 1973, and the same year she received her first initiation from Srila Prabhupada via mail. It was in 1974 that Mataji met Srila Prabhupada for the first time, and in 1975 Mataji received her second initiation in Philadelphia. Mataji was married to His Grace Pratyatosha Prabhu, and they have 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. They also have 14 grandchildren and a great-grandson. Since 1996, Mataji is in Vanaprastha order.
She knows more about me than I know.
Mataji has Bachelor's of Science in Religion and Education from Excelsior College. She holds Master of School Administration and also a PhD in Educational Leadership. Mataji has also experience of 27 years as a primary and secondary school teacher and also 19 years of experience in school management. Mataji has been serving continuously ISKCON since 1973. She is a chair of Shastrik Advisory Council to GBC, a featured writer and associate editor of Back to Godhead magazine, and also a professor of sociology of religion in Bhaktivedanta College. Mataji keeps traveling throughout the world preaching and teaching Krishna consciousness. Currently, Mataji is involved in coordination and development of Krishna conscious academic curriculum. Mataji holds a number of publications also, some of which are The Essence Seekers, The Vaikuntha Children, The Great Mantra for Mystic Meditation, and Dr. Best Learn to Read, which is an 83-book literacy program that is enabled with technology which can translate stories into 25 languages just with the touch of a special pen. Mataji is also a certified master practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming, and she also certified in premarital counseling. So let us all welcome together Her Grace Urmila Devi Mataji by 3 times loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
That is the best introduction I have ever had. How long did it take you to memorize that? I've never seen somebody memorize that before. Dava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radhamadava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Braja Janarandana Yasodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Giridvaradhari. Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yamunatiravanachari. Yamunatiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Gopi Jana Ballabha Giridvaradhari. Yasodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yamunatiravanachari. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Asatar Sadasri Srimada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Shri Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shai Mukunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai. Mathura Dhama Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dhama Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai. Gangamaya Jamuna Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Vasai Budale. Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve. Gauravani Pacharane Nirvasesa Sinivani Paskachade Satarane. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha Panchakalpajibhascha Kripasandhviyavatapadhi Chanam Pavanevya Vaishnava Namo Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So it's a very great fortune that we have the association of Her Grace Urmila Devi Mataji. Hari Bol. She has already given an introduction, but I would like to speak a little bit from my interactions with Mataji.
I need another introduction.
For us, you are a very important personality, Mataji. So it's actually being in Srila Prabhupada's movement. Srila Prabhupada so much wanted that the devotees from both the genders should actually be preaching, should actually be managing, leading, and actually increasing the Krishna consciousness movement. And being in the women body, Mataji is one of the leaders in ISKCON who is actually setting such a wonderful example for all of us. She is a traveling preacher all over the world, and her presentations are recognized very wonderfully. In fact, she is a wonderful mother as well as a teacher. Actually, mother is actually the first teacher for anyone. So she teaches in a very amazing manner. The first principle of teaching, as she taught me just today morning on the phone itself, that the teacher is a servant of the students. So she always is in that mood. I have associated with her a little bit last time, and it was very amazing, wonderful. She can be so particular. so particular about what the person should be, changing and improving, because that's very important, because unless that's there, then there is no improvement in the consciousness of the person. At the same time, she can be so loving and so kind and so caring. I am so happy to tell you that there are only few people who actually have defeated me on certain logical premises. But when I was in front of her, oh my God, it was like one of the interactions was, she told me, Amal Mahaprabhu, do you make laws? She saw that book which I wrote in the time management. She says, laws, 8 laws, is it? Who makes the law? She asked me. I said, Dharmasya Tattvam Bhagavat Pranitam, Krishna makes the law. So is it that, you make the law? I said, no, Mataji, we discovered. We spoke there. So they said, no, it's not law. At the best, you can say some other word. You should be particular. Then I said to Mataji, yes, Mataji, I know we will change the world. He said, what? No, we are not here to change the world. We are here to change the world. So it was a very wonderful interaction. I learned a lot. Being in the movement, I was asking her, what do you see as the future of our ISKCON movement? And I see that her vision towards our society is such a wonderful vision, which Srila Prabhupada would be wanting. And somehow down the line, in between, we have probably lost the track. And we need leaders like Mataji to speak and to enlighten us, to actually grasp that vision, especially towards pure devotion service. You meet her, you go inside her room, the first thing she would do is, she would introduce you to her deities. Her heart is with her deities, with her Govardhan Shila which she has. And the first time when I entered, she just, she said, she spoke to her Govardhan Shilas that here is Amal Mahaprabhu. I said, who is there? Who's there? Only Mataji and Mahan. And then she introduced me, Amal Mahaprabhu, this is Lordships. So I was like, she was telling me last time that actually the essence of Krishna consciousness is that we have the Lord in our heart and we do it for them, everything. She was telling that everything which we do, every moment of our life, our actions, our speech, our whatever we are doing is to be offered to the Lord. It's actually, that's what the consciousness internally is. Externally we may be doing whatever we are doing, but internally that is the consciousness. I see her the epitome of such wonderful consciousness. She is in the mood of a servant of her spiritual master, trying to give what Srila Prabhupada has revealed to us, painstakingly to the whole world. Come, let's open our heart. In the association of such great souls, our hearts can transform. Therefore, I have chosen the topic which is so relevant, which is the longing. Mataji said the seminar is longing for reciprocation of Krishna. In the material world, everybody is simply trying to be happy with so many different things. But actually, or even material relationships, things or material relationships, they don't satisfy because we are longing for Krishna. This presentation would be taking us more deep within this particular premise which Srila Prabhupada has given us, which can make us enter into the Vrindavan Dham if we change our consciousness that way. Come, let's welcome Her Grace Urmila Mataji by loudly chanting, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Now, the problem with such an introduction is I have such a thing to live up to. The expectations now are so high that there's no way I can give a good class, You're going to measure me against that. Now, I noticed you were speaking very fast. Everybody could understand, but the problem may be the accent, huh? You can understand English very fast with an Indian accent, but I don't know if you can understand English very fast with an American accent.
I wanted to save time.
I'm wondering, because I know when I go to Oman, they don't get very many non-Indian preachers coming to Oman. And they told me, they all speak English. They said, we need your English translated into English. So you have a Hindi translation, you don't have any Tamil translation? Only Hindi?
Everybody understands.
Everybody. Can you understand if I speak as fast as he does? No, you can't. Could you understand him when he was speaking so fast? No. Okay. This presentation, though, it's a long presentation. So if I speak very, very slowly, we will be here for a very long time.
We are comfortable with your accent, Mataji.
That's you are. I know you are. Atmavan Manyate Jagat. What about you? How is your English? It's okay? I'm never sure with this thing if it means yes, no, maybe, tomorrow, yesterday. I'm just looking for anyone who looks like they may be bewildered. What about you? How is your English? Your English is good? Are you from a Muslim background? Did you come from a Muslim family? No, she doesn't know English at all. What language do you speak? Huh? Telugu, which doesn't help you here, and English and that's all? Telugu, English. Hindi. Do you want to get the Hindi translation or you understand my English? You understand. Did you used to be Muslim before? So she's not understanding. Simple question.
Muslim. She didn't get the question.
Oh.
Actually, she went to Tirupati.
No. So why are you like this? We have this one very nice devotee friend I have. She's from Iran, from a Muslim family. She's become a devotee, but she wears her sari like this. I was wondering. But you can understand. Okay. And you are all, most of you are working, yeah? And at work you probably speak English, yeah? And you deal with Americans? Yes? Okay. Do we have any problem here at all? What about you? Can you understand? Okay. I'm looking for faces that are like this, you know. Could I try speaking normally? Who is the translator there? Which one? You are translating. Okay, so if I go too fast, will you tell me? All right? Because the problem is if I speak very slowly, then everybody gets sleepy. But if I speak at my normal speed, you may just be lost. So sometimes I have this conundrum. By the way, it's epitome, not epitome. I have this conundrum if I should make you sleepy or lost. So, are you going to do simultaneous? Okay. Let's try my speaking almost normally. We'll try, all right? But then you tell me, then I would speak like this. Can I try speaking like this and see? Can you follow? Can you follow? I know it's fine for you. You were speaking 10,000 kilometers an hour. Not worried about you. Worried about everybody else. Heart Krishna. Okay. I don't know if we want. Can we turn off some of the lights, or do we have to, is it all or nothing? Reversed. Have those on and these off. Okay, that's much better. Thank you. This is a very meditative presentation. Can all of you see the screen? So the sages in the Dandaka forest, many of them fell in love with Lord Ramachandra, and they wanted to marry him. All of you can see? Can you see? You cannot possibly see. Move down that way. There you go. They wanted to marry Lord Ramachandra, but Lord Ramachandra had this vow to only have one wife. That's not like the modern idea of one wife. Modern idea of one wife is one wife at a time. Yes? Not like that. I have my wife, and then I have my first ex-wife and my second ex-wife, and no, so not like that. Even wife dies, they don't take another wife. So that is the Ekpati Vrat. So the sages had to wait for Krishna's appearance before they could have their desires fulfilled. So how many years is it between Ram's appearance and Krishna's appearance? Millions of years, yes? Then the personified Vedas, many of them also wanted to be Krishna's consorts. And they again had to wait for Krishna to incarnate. And then of course there are the many sadhakas who get awakened to Madhurya Bhav, and they're waiting for Krishna to appear. So all these devotees, they're waiting millions, maybe billions of years. And finally, they take birth in Vrindavan as gopis. Even then they have to wait. Right? When Krishna steals their clothes, he said, later, we will dance. So they are waiting and waiting and waiting. Sometimes we think, now I've taken up Krishna consciousness, in 1 month I should see Krishna, you know. They're waiting for millions of years. And then one night, they heard Krishna's flute. And each gopi is thinking, Krishna is only calling my name with his flute. So although it was nighttime, they left everything. They left their families. Right? They went out in the forest. And in the forest then there were tigers. Would you go out into the forest at night with tigers? Snakes? Elephants? They were just young girls. And they went out. And then when they went to see Krishna, did he say, oh, I'm so happy you've come, now we'll dance? No, did he say that? He said, love for me comes by serving me, not by being with me. Go home. Go home. Be proper dharmic women. Sometimes even today, even in ISKCON, people say that. Why are you preaching? Why are you doing service? Just stay home and cook. Yes? Some people say that to me. They say, Urmila, you should just stay with your sons and make cookies for your grandchildren. So Krishna said this. He said, go home. This is not very good. When I wanted to join ISKCON, my mother also said, why are you stay home? Yes. And what did the gopis say? We're not going anywhere. We have waited for you for billions of years. And you called us. You played your flute. You called us. We're not going anywhere. So they defeated Krishna. And then they were playing and laughing, going through the forest of Vrindavan. They were so happy. Imagine, after millions and millions and billions of years, finally you are with Krishna. He's holding your hand and he's looking at you with love, and you're singing and enjoying, and then you turn around and he's gone. He's gone. You don't know where he is at all. Where did he go? They became like crazy people. They started feeling that they were Krishna. They were imitating Krishna's pastimes just to try to feel some connection with him. Even he left Radharani. And they were following his footprints, looking in the deep, dark forest. How will we find him? And they found, oh, he has left even Radharani. Together they went through the forest, following his footprints. It was getting darker and darker and darker. They didn't know where he was. Finally they decided, if we keep looking for Krishna, he will keep running away. And if he's running away, he may hurt his feet. So better we wait. Maybe he will come. So they sat down to wait, and they started to sing. And after they were singing their beautiful songs for a long time, suddenly he returned. So first we're going to look at verses 15 to 16. This is again from chapter 32. We may experience in our own lives in Krishna consciousness that we give everything as far as we are capable. Oh, thank you. That is a big improvement. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to get another cup also. There we go. Okay. Even bigger improvement. Okay. Thank you. We may experience, we are chanting our rounds, we're trying to focus on Krishna, worshipping the deity, studying the Shastra. And Krishna may seem to be absent. Yes? And then sometimes we feel Krishna's there. Oh, Krishna's there in his name, in the prasadam, in the books, and then he goes away. You experience this? It's not only me, yes? Oh, there's Krishna. Where is he? Or we see someone else, they're doing the same service I am doing, and they are full of ecstasy, and I am just like, where's Krishna? Yes? One person, they seem to become a pure devotee in 1 week, and for me, I'm taking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 lifetimes, I don't know. And still, I'm not out of tamagun. So what is this? So the gopis were asking. Okay, why don't we chant these together, not call and response. We'll sing these together, okay? Sabhajayitvam tamananga dipanam sahasralikeshana vibrana bhuva samsparshanenanka kritan grihastayo stam stujyaishat kupita babashire. English together? Sri Krishna had awakened romantic desires within the gopis, and they honored him by glancing at him with playful smiles, gesturing amorously with their eyebrows, and massaging his hands and feet as they held them in their laps. Even while worshipping him, however, they felt somewhat angry, and thus they addressed him as follows. Do you ever feel angry at Krishna? Even the gopis sometimes feel angry at Krishna. Shri Gopya Uchu Bhajato Nu Bhajante Ka Eka Etan Viparyayam No Bhayascha Bhajante Ka Etan No Bhuhi Sadhu Bho. The gopis said, some people reciprocate the affection only of those who are affectionate toward them, while others show affection even to those who are indifferent or inimical. And yet others will not show affection toward anyone. Dear Krishna, please properly explain this matter to us. So they were thinking, what gentleman would call for his beloved only to send her home again? What gallant would show his affection and then abandon his darling in the dead of night in the jungle? What hero would neglect his heroine and show no remorse at her tears? gopis said, "We exhibit our love for him without restriction. Why doesn't he reciprocate with us? Does he relish some perverse pleasure from abandoning us in the dead of night?" Do you ever feel like that? Is Krishna getting some kind of enjoyment? I'm serving him, and he's just neglecting me? And so no, we should question him, but we'll question him in paradoxical language. We'll try to get him to we'll try to force him indirectly to show that he's ungrateful. We'll ask a general question about love. We'll ask a philosophical question. Do you ever do that? Do you ever ask a philosophical question, but actually you have something else in mind? Yes? Maharaj, I'd like to ask you about, devotees who do such and such and such and such, and those people, and is that okay? So the gopis were also doing it. They were saying, there's different kinds of people who love. What do you think about that? So it says that they were honoring Krishna, right? They glanced at him with smiles. They were massaging his hands and feet. Actually, the acharyas say Krishna was also massaging their hands and feet, but they were also angry. Is my English okay? Okay? Great. So we read the verses, but we're looking in this presentation at the verses, the commentaries of the acharyas, Prabhupada's Krishna book, and Ananda Vrindavan Champu. They're like, oh joy of our eyes, who we're very angry at. Oh joy of our eyes. Now please give us answers on one topic. We're just ordinary women of Vrindavan. We don't know about Vedic knowledge. You can help us with this. And we have a question to ask you. Yes. So they were desiring of Krishna proving with his own words that the Supreme Lord is ungrateful. So they asked these questions. What were they asking? Who's the best, most honest, loving person? So the gopis identified three kinds of people. Now, as we go through this, we're going to be learning not only something about how Krishna reciprocates with us, we're also going to be learning something about how we treat others. And I should warn you, you probably weren't warned, but I should warn you, this is heavy stuff. Okay? This is heavy stuff. It's going to go deep and bring up some things that you're going to look at. All right? Is that all right? Okay. So I said some people, they reciprocate the love that others show toward them. Right? There was a very big selling book about the relationship between men and women. Big selling. Good book. Had some good things. I read the book. Had some good things in it. But the author, I met the author personally also. He wrote about in his book, how do men and women keep score? You understand score? Like in a game? It's a cricket game. There's a score. This team won 2 points. This team won 10 points. I don't know. I never watched cricket. I have no idea how they keep score. So they were saying, this author, his theory was that women give 1 point for everything. This is his theory. You buy your wife a house, 1 point. You buy her a rose, 1 point. And then men have different scores. And he's talking about trying to keep the scores equal, right? Or that another very famous book, big seller, talks about whether or not you're depositing in someone else's emotional bank account. I'm sure you know what book I'm talking about. But this is a system of, I'm going to love you how much you love me, and I'm keeping track. So there's these kind of people. Then there's people who love, even their enemies. So today is Christmas, so this is a good time to bring this up because Jesus said, love your enemies. Do good to those who harm you. Bless those who curse you. So this is some people are like that. You try to hurt them with it, they still love you. Then there are people who don't love anybody. They don't love people who love them. They don't love people who don't love them. They don't love everybody, anybody. So they're asking, all right, Krishna, who are you? Right? They're saying, you please explain this answer. You are the most knowledgeable among all the moving and non-moving entities. You please consider and give you their reply. So what were they really asking? Our acharyas tell us what they were really asking. Yes? Very common in close relationships that we don't say exactly what we're thinking, yes? Sometimes especially when women are talking to men. So then what was their real question? Do you have love for us? Do you have indifference? Or do you have enmity? We don't know. Do you ever think like that? Like, Krishna, do you love me? Do you hate me? Do you not care? I mean, I'm such a small jiva on one little planet in one little universe. Maybe you don't even know I exist. Yeah? Or sometimes maybe you don't like me. Why did you have me break my foot? Why did you have someone steal my money? Why did you have somebody get... Maybe you don't like me. Maybe you do love me. I don't know. They said, if you love us, is it conditional love? No. Because if it's conditional love, you would help the people who help you, but you hurt us. You left us in this fire of separation. So it's not conditional love. Maybe it's unconditional. No, because you left us. So even though you saw how much distress we had, still you didn't love us. Do you not care? No. We see you do things to make us happy, and you do things to make us unhappy. So you care. Do you hate us forever? No, because you show love to us, sometimes at least, often. Do you hate us because we have done something wrong? No, because we didn't do anything wrong. So, these questions the gopis are asking Krishna, we can also talk to Krishna. Prabhupada says Krishna is eager to talk to us. We can talk to Krishna. We can say, please explain to me. Please explain to me. So now we're going to go to the next verses. So now Krishna is going to answer. This is verses 17 through 19. Together. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mito Bhajanti Ye Sakya Swarta Kandyo Jamahite Na Tatra Soradam Dharma Swartanta Dinayata. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, so-called friends who show affection for each other only to benefit themselves are actually selfish. They have no true friendship, nor are they following the true principles of religion. Indeed, if they did not expect benefit for themselves, they would not reciprocate. Do you want to sit maybe right there? You're struggling. Can you all see? You, all of you see fine? Yes? Bhajanta bhyajato ye vai karuna pitaro yata dharma nirapavadotra soridam cha sumadhyama. My dear slender-waisted gopis, some people are genuinely merciful or, like parents, naturally affectionate. Such persons who devotedly serve even those who fail to reciprocate with them are following the true faultless path of religion, and they are true well-wishers. Bhajato pina vaikechid bhajantya bhajata kuta atmarana yatakama akradagya guru druha. Then there are those individuals who are spiritually self-satisfied, materially fulfilled, or by nature ungrateful or simply envious of superiors. Such persons will not love even those who love them, What to speak of those who are inimical? So Krishna looked at them very sweetly with sidelong glances, and he gave them a humorous answer with a special taste that could revive a person from death. So the gopis gave 3. Yes? The gopis gave 3. What were the 3? You remember? They give what they get. And the second? Okay, they give even if they don't get. And the third? They don't give. So Krishna took the gopis' 3 categories and he made it into 9. Okay? So now we're going to go through the 9 categories. Okay, so the first one is the people who reciprocate the love only of those who show love to them. And this is quite heavy. Krishna says these people are just selfish. They have no true friendship. If they didn't expect anything from themselves, they would not reciprocate. Now we will say very frankly, the vast majority of relationships in this world are exactly like this. Exactly. Even if we're nice to someone who will not reciprocate, we may think someone else will reciprocate. Well, if I'm nice to my coworker, my boss will recognize me, and my boss will give me a promotion. So it's always calculating what will I get. If I do this nice thing, I'll get good karma. You know, I'm just calculating. Oh, this won't do anything for me, then why should I bother? And often we're not even aware of this. Krishna says they're like merchants. He says there's no love. Yeah, and this is really heavy. He says there's no permanent dharma, no prema, no friendship, no happiness. You were saying how our material relationships are unsatisfying. We think they are unsatisfying because other people do not treat me the way I want to be treated. That's why we think they're unsatisfying. I'm sure all of us, if I asked everybody now, get out a paper and pencil and write down all the people that you have loved in your life and how they have not satisfied you. We would all be writing for a very long time. My mother did this and she didn't do that, and she did this and she didn't do that, and my father did this and he didn't do that, and my brother, oh my God, my brother used to do this and he used to do that, and my sister used to do this, and my auntie and my uncle and my teachers, they did this, and the other kids at school, they did that, and my boss, they did this, and the employees, they did that, and my friend, they did this, and then, you know, my temple president and my GBC and my guru, and I mean, it goes on and on and on. Yes? And then my children and my grandchildren. Now I have a great-grandchild. He's too young to do anything. He's only 2, but give him a few more years, you know, and then he'll do something I don't like. My government, yes? The other driver, everybody. So many people, they're not treating me the way I like. But that's not why these relationships are unsatisfying. That's not the reason. The reason is that they're merchant relationships. Therefore, there's no love. And therefore, there's no happiness. And Krishna says, even those without a tinge of loving affairs are better than these merchants. Whoa! I guarantee you, if you go on the internet, go to YouTube or Facebook or any social media, you will find so many things glorifying these merchant relationships. Oh, this love and that love and this love and that love. And this love between husband and wife and parents and children and brother and sister and people and country and yes? And you can watch these things and oh, they love each other so much. You know, at least the ladies will cry. I don't know if the men will cry. But, you know, but it's not true. How do we know it's not true? Because as soon as the other party doesn't reciprocate with us, how do we feel? Angry, sad, hurt. I have been betrayed. Yes? Now, maybe objectively we have been betrayed. But if we react like that emotionally, that means that we were giving to get something. Objectively, we could say, some years ago, I was asked to do a mediation between a temple and a grahasta couple. So the temple authorities were claiming that they had an agreement with this couple, and the couple had been basically taking more than they were giving. Yes? So they had a written agreement, but they had changed the written agreement orally 3 or 4 times. So both parties agreed that nobody was following the written agreement anymore. We couldn't use that. And they could not agree as to what was the oral agreement. So the couple said, we had this oral agreement. The temple authority said, no, we had this oral agreement. So I couldn't work from any agreed agreement. So I decided to do this with numbers. So I went to the temple treasurer. I spent some hours with the temple treasurer. What has the temple given this couple? And what is the value? A place to stay, what is the value of this? Prasadam, what is the value? We put a number on everything. Then we ask, what is the value of their service? If you were going to pay somebody to do this, what would you pay? And then we asked both the temple and the couple how much service. We got them to agree what facility they were getting and what service they were giving. So everybody agreed this number of hours of this type of service, this facility, and everybody agreed on what was the monetary value of everything. So we made it all numbers. And then we just made an Excel sheet. What did the temple give in numbers? What did the grahasta couple give in numbers? The grahasta couple gave, I think, 5 times more than they were getting. It was very interesting. I mean, we had this meeting because the temple authorities, they really hated this couple. They wanted them out. They're cheating the temple. They're cheating the temple. They were very angry. And so we had this meeting, maybe 10 managers from the temple and the couple, and we just passed out this Excel sheet, and everybody's looking, and it's pin drop silence, you know. They're just looking. And then the authorities, they look up and they say, we're very sorry. But when we have these merchant relationships, we become angry if we think we've been cheated. And sometimes objectively we have been cheated. Actually, in this case, the temple was cheating the couple, frankly. So they could objectively say, we've been cheated. But if you're feeling emotionally that you've been cheated, do you understand the difference? If emotionally you're feeling, this person is cheating me, this person is not treating me right, that is, and you become angry and you're thinking, then I'm not going to do anything for them anymore. Or I'm going to cut down what I'm doing for them, or I won't talk to them anymore. Now, of course, there can be a non-emotional reaction where you might say, I don't think this relationship is really good for my service. That's there. That can be, you know, sometimes we may have to change our relationships and change our service and change our situation. Too fast? Okay. Sometimes there may be a reason. It's not that everybody can work with everybody. Yes, that astrologer said Prabhupada could build a house in which the whole world could live. But in most houses, there's more than one room. Yes, not that everybody sleeps in the same bed. So there may be, Prabhupada told this to Yamuna. Yamuna was staying just with one friend, Dinatarani, away from a temple, and the devotees were criticizing. And so they asked Prabhupada, should we go back and live in the ashram? Prabhupada said, no. He said, why do you always want to change? He said, if two are compatible, you can make advancement, and if 200 are not compatible, nobody can make any advancement. So sometimes there may be an incompatible situation. But that's, in a detached way, one may see, this situation is not compatible. Or it's not my nature. Someone is trying to force me to act in a way that is not my nature. So we're not talking about that. That's two separate things. But the emotional reaction, I'm not going to have anything to do with that person anymore. I don't want to talk to that person. I don't want to see them. I'll do something, but not much. I'm not going to do, maybe I'll do little. I'll be polite. But that's all. Because I give so much, and what do they give me? Nothing. Just trouble. Then you know, immediately you know, it is this relationship. And the reason we are not happy in the relationship is it's this kind of a relationship. The other person may be acting badly. I'm not saying that may be an objective fact. It may be an objective fact that the other person is acting badly. And it may even be an objective fact that you have been a deva and they have been an asura. That's not likely, but it's possible. If you ask them, they may think the objective fact is reversed. But even if it's an objective fact, that I have given this much and they have given this much, or negative, my lack of happiness with the situation means it's a merchant relationship. Because a devotee can feel happy in any condition of life. Does everybody understand that? Yes, there's a nice statement in the 20th chapter of Krishna book where Srila Prabhupada says that for the materialists, they see the world as very aggressive. But for the devotee, everything is happily situated. And sometimes when I tell devotees this quote, they say, I think you're remembering it backwards, Urmila. The materialists think the world is a happy place, and the devotees see everything as aggressive. I say, if that is true, then be a materialist. Why would you want to be a devotee? Become a devotee and become miserable. I mean, it's like, I just don't understand. So devotee can be happy in all circumstances. You might say, this is not a compatible situation for me. I need to not do this service with this devotee. But that we feel, yes? The throat goes, and the eyes fill with tears, and your chest goes like this. This person cheated me. They betrayed me. Look what I did. How many of our relationships are in this category? Okay, next category. So that was the gopis' first category. Krishna also had it as first category. For the gopis' second category, Krishna divides this into two. So here Krishna says there are two categories of those who have love even for somebody who doesn't love them. They love everyone. So first there are the devotees who are compassionate to everybody. And then there are like parents who are affectionate to their children, even if the children do not reciprocate. Can be other family members also, but parents are usually the epitome. I know the word looks like epitome, but it's not, it's epitome of this type of mood that I will love no matter what. Now here, Krishna says, Dharma and Prema are lasting They feel the happiness and distress of those they love like their own, even when there is no reciprocation. There's at least one place where Srila Prabhupada makes this the main criteria for whether a relationship is spiritual or material. He says, in material relationships, we are happy at others' unhappiness, and we are unhappy at others' happiness. He says, we will not like to admit this, but this is actually the case. A spiritual relationship means you are unhappy at others' unhappiness, and you are happy at their happiness. So the pure devotees, we see Prahlad. He exemplifies, he personifies, he's the epitome of this feeling of the devotee. So Hiranyakashipu was the Adi child abuser. Yes? Unfortunately, we hadn't established the CPO yet. And so Prahlad had no one to report him to. Yes? And it was difficult because Hiranyakashipu was running the whole government. He was running the police. If the police abuse you, where are you going to go? Difficult, yes? Yes. So Prahlad had nowhere to go. All the demigods, even superficially Narada was offering respect to Hiranyakashipu. So Prahlad was in this very bad situation where his father tried to kill him. Yeah. And when Nrsingadev said, "What did you want?" He says, "I don't want anything. I'm not a merchant." No, Nrsingadev said, "I want to give you sometime. This is my pastime to give benedictions." Okay, don't make my father suffer for what he did to me. Let him become liberated without suffering. If somebody tried to kill me over and over again when I was in a helpless position, I would say, make them suffer. He says, no suffering. Krishna says this to thin-waisted women, and the acharyas say, this middle question of the gopis, like their thin waist, it describes the gopis' love for Krishna. You love me even when I do not reciprocate. Indeed, my lack of reciprocation is to show the world this love of yours. And my dear friends, often when Krishna is not reciprocating, he is seeing, what kind of love do you have? Merchant love or pure love? If I'm chanting Hare Krishna and I feel Krishna's presence and it's so sweet, and then I'm going to focus, and then I'm chanting and I feel nothing, and I say, okay, I'll do space out rounds. You're not there, I won't be there either, just officially. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So you're not there anyway, why should I bother? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You want me to try chant nice rounds? You come, otherwise not. Hare Krishna. So Krishna is often withdrawing a little bit to see what kind of love do you have? Then his second category of this is family members. And again, we see this not just with mothers and fathers. We see it with husbands and wives. The man goes and has an affair, and the wife may say, okay, still you're my husband. Yes? We all know people who've done this, yes? Yes? Other people say, you're such a fool. No, that is love. Can we think of some time when we did something wrong and people loved us anyway? How did we feel when we did something wrong and people loved us anyway? They didn't even point it out. Sometimes I have done something wrong and people were, oh, you did this wrong, look at this. I already know I did something wrong. Why do you have to be hard on me? And other times I've done something wrong and people say, oh, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Right? Never mind. But especially the parents are like this. Of course, there are some parents not like this. Like one devotee was just telling me, one devotee here in Chennai was just telling me that his father said to him, after he joined ISKCON, his father said to him, if you marry a Western girl, you cannot step over the threshold of my house. He didn't marry a Western girl, so it was okay. So sometimes even parents are not like this, yes? You want to become a musician instead of IT? Forget it. I will not talk to you anymore. But generally parents, I read once about this police chief. It turned out that the serial killer was his own son. So he wanted the boy to be put in jail, but he still loved him. And he would visit him in jail and say, I'm still your father. So this kind of love. Again, in family even is not always there, isn't it? Even sometimes family, we see in the Shastra, happens in the family. What happened with Kaikeyi? Uttanapad with Suniti. Kamsa with Devaki. Rukmi. So even in families, even in the Shastras, sometimes it's like that. Ravana and Babisha, Duryodhana and Vidura. There may be. So therefore, the family love is not as pure as the devotee love. Family love can be broken. And the family love is on the basis of the body. It's on the basis of something material. So we have to also be very careful that we don't simply, I know Prabhupada said that ISKCON should be like a family with love and trust, but don't make it like a material family. Like Arjuna saying, Swajana, my own people. Because you see, there's some little merchant thing mixed with it. You know, there's some concept. Because we love the family unconditionally because we think the family is part of myself. You know, the baby comes out of the mother's body, so it's part of her own body. So we're loving family like we love ourselves, but it's all on a false platform. So even that love in this world, it's not fully satisfying, is it? Anybody here feel 100% satisfied with their family dealings? So if we put that on ISKCON, ISKCON has to be like a family, and we will find that even in families there are these things. And then again we may think, they're not really devotees. All right, now we go to the gopis' third category. And here Krishna has 4 types. So of the people who do not love anyone, the first is the Atma Arama. Atma Arama, they're satisfied in themselves. They don't need anybody. They have their own spiritual happiness, and so they have no interest in any other relationship. Then you have the Apta Kama. So the Atma Rama was a spiritual. They are spiritually happy, so they don't care about anyone else. Apta Kama is material. They have everything they need, everything they want, and so why should they take care of anybody or be with anybody? They don't feel they need them. I have my 10 mansions in the world and my yachts and my private plane and my secretaries and my employees and I don't need anybody else. So the Aptikama. Then you have the Akritagya. So these people, they don't love not because they are satisfied, but because they are ungrateful. So this person doesn't know how to reciprocate. They want others. So the Atma Rama and the Aptakama, they don't want anything from you. I don't need you. I don't want anything from you. But the ungrateful people, they do want something from you, but they don't know how to reciprocate. They get distracted by sense objects. And they don't help those who help them. They're just not grateful. So this is a little different from the people who keep score. Right? People who keep score, they think, okay, you bought me a diamond ring, you got me some roses, I'll make you lasagna. But the ungrateful people, they're like, what have you ever done for me? I got you a diamond ring. That was last week. Well, of course you got me a diamond ring. You're my husband. You're supposed to get me a diamond ring. That's your job. You know, ingratitude just absolutely destroys relationships. You know, destroys. So you come home from work and there's 15 preparations and you just say, of course my wife makes 15 preparations and of course she cleans the whole house and there's incense and there's my clothes are ironed. She's my wife. It's her job. And why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do this? And why didn't you? And of course my husband earns the money. That's his job. He's the husband. And why didn't you fix the front door? I've been asking you for 3 weeks now. You've not fixed the front door. And what about this? He said, but I cut the grass. Oh, of course you cut the grass. That's your job. What about the door? You know, just taking everything for granted. Forgetting that everyone is a volunteer always. Even you're paying somebody, they don't have to work for you, you know. They could work for somebody else. Just because I marry you doesn't mean I'm now obligated. I'm still, every moment is still voluntary, yeah? Yes? Remember, everybody is doing things voluntary, but people become very ungrateful. They don't even notice what others do for them. No, they don't even see it. I'm sure we've all seen people like this. They just don't have any awareness. Yes? Then you have the Guru Druha. Oh, those who are, they don't even acknowledge what people have done for them. And they hate those who help them. So the first is just ungrateful, but this they actually hate them. Huh? Now it's an interesting category. When I was running a Gurukula, I noticed that the families that were the most difficult to deal with, 100% of them were people for whom we had done favors. Now, not all the people for whom we had done favors were difficult. So many of the people for whom we had done favors were appreciative. But all of the difficult people were people we had done favors for. All of them. It's all right, we'll bend this rule for you, we'll make this exception, we'll do this. And I was thinking, how is this possible? And I thought, none of us like to be in debt. You know? If I owed you a lakh of rupees and I didn't have the money to pay it, I wouldn't want to see you. Yes? I would feel very uncomfortable around you. It's one of the reasons that materialists want to forget about God. So these Guru Druha, they're like this. They criticize those to whom they are in debt. So we have different Guru Druhas. So there's a Guru Druha type 1 when there's a reason. Because things are mixed. Let's say there is somebody who has done many things for me, and they've also done things to hurt me. We all have people like this. They've done this many things for me to benefit me, to help me, and they've also done these things that have hurt me and distressed me. So I can look at those things and say, I hate this person because of those things. Guru Druha 2. When I hate somebody who takes care of me, who hasn't done anything wrong. They've only done good for me, and I still hate them. Yes, you see this with little children. Very common with little, like 2, 3, 4-year-old children. Say, put down your toys and come and eat. I hate you, mommy. Yeah, it's quite common. And then the worst type, the other person has done only good to you, and you don't just hate them, you hurt them. Yes? So someone's only done good, but you hurt them in exchange. Okay, so let's look at these 9 types. So again, the gopis had 3. Krishna broke it up into 9. The first one is the selfish person, where it's just business exchange. By the way, with business exchange, generally, we like to have it not completely equal. Yes? I usually like the other person's giving me a little more than what I am giving. Like we like to buy things on sale, and we don't complain. We don't go to the store manager and say, if I buy this on sale, will you be making any money this week? Maybe I can pay you the full price anyway? No, we don't do that, right? So usually with the business exchange, we are trying to get a sale also. Then selfless giving, the pure devotee who loves everybody, and family. That's 3 types. Then, I will get the pointer here. Then among those who are indifferent, we have the self-satisfied spiritualist, that's the 4th type. Materialist with all desires fulfilled is the 5th type. The ungrateful person who's just foolish. They're just not aware of what other people are doing for them. They just don't see it. Then you have the people who are actually inimical. So to be inimical is worse than being ungrateful, yeah? The first type, they hate, but they have some reason to hate. Then they hate for no reason. They hate those who protect them for no reason. Then the last, they don't just hate, they actually injure those who are loyal to them. Okay? Is this clear? Any questions about these 9 types? Clear? So the gopis are thinking, okay, you're not any of the persons you described in your answers to the first 2 questions. You're not a merchant, you're not a pure devotee, and you're not a parent. You're not a selfish materialist, you're not a merciful devotee, you're not a mother or father, you must be one of the ungrateful types. This is what our acharyas say the gopis were thinking. Which ungrateful type are you? Okay. So now we're going to look at Krishna's explanation. So Krishna explains these 9 types, and now he knows what their real question is. So he doesn't stop there. Now he's going to explain, who is he? Of these 9 types, who is he? And Krishna will explain for each of these, I am each of these and I am none of them. Naham tu sakyo bhajatopi jantum bhajanamisham anuvritte vrittaye yatadano labda dane vinaste tachintayanam nibhuto naveda. But the reasons I do not immediately reciprocate the affection of living beings, even when they worship me, O gopis, is that I want to intensify their loving devotion. They then become like a poor man who has gained some wealth and then lost it, and who thus becomes so anxious about it that he can think of nothing else. Evam madarto gnitaloka veda swanam hivo maya nuvrittaye balaha maya paroksham bhajata tirohitam Masuyitam marhata tat priyam priyaha. My dear girls, understanding that simply for my sake you had rejected the authority of worldly opinion, of the Vedas and of your relatives, I acted as I did only to increase your attachment to me. Even when I removed myself from your sight by suddenly disappearing, I never stopped loving you. Therefore, my beloved gopis, please do not harbor any bad feelings toward me, your beloved. Naparayeham niravajya samyujam swasadu krityam vibhudayutapiva yamamajam durjana geha shrinkala samvrishya tadva pratiyatu sadhuna. I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. So Krishna says, I cannot be the merchant because I don't immediately reciprocate. If I was a merchant, you do for me, I do for you. Yes, we sit down and say, Hare Krishna, then he's there. He said, at the same time, I am like a merchant because I am always reciprocating. And I say, Yeyatamam prapadyante tamstadaiva bhajamyam. So even if I'm not there, I am still reciprocating. So you could say I am like a merchant, that I am giving everybody according to what they give me. Then you could say, I am not like the person who loves everybody, even those who are inimical. This is a painting of Krishna with Duryodhana and Arjuna, right? Where Krishna was favoring Arjuna and not Duryodhana. So you could say, no, I'm not that kind of person because I don't always favor the demons. I favor the devotees. Yet, I am that kind of person. I worship even if the object of worship does not respond. Doesn't Krishna take care of everybody, right? If they respond or not. He says, I am that person, I am not that person. Aham bija pradapita. He's the father of everyone. Then he says, I am also not like the four people in the third question. As Narayan, I am Atmarami and Aptakami. Right? But as the son of Nanda, I am not. I am not Atmarami, completely self-satisfied in meditation, because I do get attracted by your conversations, right? The real Atmarami has no interest. He says, as Narayan, I am Atmarami, okay. But as Nanda, Kumar, I am not. I am thinking, oh, what nice things my devotees are saying, and I become attracted. And Aptakami, as Narayan, I'm Aptakami, I have everything. Right? But still, I'm taking care of everyone. I'm not indifferent. I am not saying, well, I have everything, who cares about you? I am giving everything to everybody, all the time. So I am not like this Aptakami. Right? And I'm also not Aptakami free from all desires. Because I desire to serve my devotees. I have that desire. Even though I have everything, still I desire to serve my devotees. So I am Atmarami, that I am self-satisfied. And I am Aptakami, I have unlimited opulences. But when I taste the love of my devotees, then I give up my position as Atmarami and Aptakami. So I'm both. Am I a kritigyan? Am I a foolish, ungrateful person who doesn't notice anything? As Narayana, I am kritigyan. I know everything. But as a little cowherd boy, I haven't read the Niti Shastra. I don't know anything. I am just ignorant. So I am a kritigna and not a kritikya. But even if one says, I am a little cowherd boy who hasn't gone to school, still I am not ungrateful. Patram pushpam pulam toyam yome bhakta priyachati. If you give me a little water, then I will give you everything. 1 grain of rice, you will get a palace. So I am not the kritigya, even from the platform of being an ignorant little boy. So I am not ungrateful. And okay, I am Guru Druhi. Because even though you gave everything to me, I left you in the forest. But I am not Guru Druhi, because I've come back. So for each of these 9, don't try to defeat Krishna. It doesn't work. Even you're the gopis, you will lose. Yes? He said, yes, you are right. I am each of these 9. And you are wrong, I am none of these 9. Then what are you doing? You're each of these 9, you are none of these 9. Krishna is full of paradox, yes? Walks and does not walk, near and far away. Yes? And one of the features of the Lord is He's full of these paradoxes. Yes, I am all of these. No, I am none of them. Then what are you? So there is the aspiring devotee who has not attained prema. That's like me. No, I'm not even this good. This is surrendered souls, so I don't know. I'm not even at this place yet. But for surrendered souls who worship me through Nam Kirtan and other means, I do not respond to make their worship more perfect. Not seeing me, those souls develop humility. Sometimes we see that when Krishna shows some favor to a devotee, they become proud. You've seen this. I was just hearing recently, some devotees, they got some realization, oh, I have this rasa with Krishna, and then they became proud. Oh, I am very advanced Rasika devotee. And then Krishna goes away. So Krishna sees that when we become proud like that, oh, I got some realization, I had some vision, I got some taste, I got some ecstasy. Oh, I am very great. Now you have to worship me, and now you have to let me do this and that because I am big devotee. But the devotee thinks, oh, everything I've done has been useless. Because I am an offender, I could not get a drop of mercy. I am the most unfortunate. And then bhakti can grow. And our acharyas say that Krishna is saying, seeing them suffer in lonely places, I endure pain 1,000 times more than theirs. What can I do? Their sincere prayers amaze me, but their heart tears scorch my heart, and their fainted despair causes me to swoon. Still, for their sake, I wait in silence. I endure it all to ripen their love. So Krishna's there, thinking, oh, they're praying so sincerely, they're begging, Lord, I want to see you. Ekakchi Drishyan, one time at least, let me see you. And I want to come, I want to come, I want to come, but I know they're not ready. Like if you pick the fruit before it is ripe. Ugh. I don't know why, particularly in Melbourne, but when I was in Melbourne, we have a large Indian congregation there. And many of the devotees there, who were born and raised in India, they buy stone fruits. Stone fruits are like peaches, plums, nectarines, apricots. So you don't have these in India very much. So they're not familiar with these fruits. And the shops often in the West, they pick the fruits before they are ripe, and they sell them in the stores when they are not ripe, and you have to have them ripen in your home. Yes? When they are not ripe, they are hard and they are sour. When they are ripe, they are very soft and they are very sweet, very juicy. So much juice, like mango, that much juice. So they would buy these stone fruits and they would make a fruit salad and put these stone fruits in, but they were not ripe. And it was like, ugh. How can you eat this? And they said, we thought this is the kind of fruit you Westerners eat. We come to the West and we see you are selling these fruits and we buy them at the store. We think the Westerners must like them. I must develop a taste for them. I have some Western guests. I will feed them the fruit they like, you know. It's like, ugh, all unripe. So Krishna doesn't want to pick our fruits unripe. But for him, he is actually more eager. I want to come, I want to come, I want to come, I want to come. What about the devotees who have attained prema? I do not immediately respond or sow myself to those who worship me because I want to intensify their loving attachment. So this is what we all want. We all want a relationship where the love is growing. It's explaining in the Bhagavatam when Priyavrata married Bahirshmati that their love was always growing and growing and growing. Or with Usha and Aniruddha also, it says every day their love grew by 4 times. So generally our relationships are not like that. Right? Generally they're not like that. Young man, young woman fall in love and all they're thinking about is the other person 24 hours a day. But after they've been together 5 years, 10 years, it's not like that. Or when you first have a baby, you're thinking of that baby all the time. Even if you go in the next room, you're thinking, is he breathing? Is he breathing? Is he okay? Is he okay? You're waking up in the middle of the night. Is he breathing? Is he okay? But when my children are grown up, I'm not thinking of them all 24 hours. I'm not calling them every 5 minutes. Are you breathing? Are you okay? So in this world, our love tends to go down. Yes, that intensity. But that's not what we want. We want to love where the intensity increases. It's the most pleasurable thing to be in love. There's nothing more pleasurable than this feeling of being in love. So Krishna wants that relationship between him and devotees also to always intensify. And therefore he comes and goes. And he deals with the relationship such that it always intensifies. He says, these devotees who already have prema, they become absorbed in remembering me like a poor man who's gained some wealth and lost it and can think of nothing else. So he's saying, I respond to them, but it may not be so obvious. But then Krishna says, you gopis are not in these categories. You are not the devotees who have not attained prema, and you're not the devotees who have attained prema. You are the limit of all devotees. Then Krishna spoke with regret. Bless you. He said, I've done something wrong here. I did something wrong to leave you. I shouldn't have done this. He says, devotees such as you gopis, you've never existed in the past. No one else is like you now, and no one else will exist like you in the future. He says, I cannot increase your love for me or decrease your love for me. The gopis' love for Krishna is always growing in all circumstances. He said, the reason I left you was to glorify you. I left you so the other devotees who were in prema, they could see, what love these devotees have, these gopis have, that after all these millions and billions of years of waiting, and coming to see Krishna, and Krishna tells them to go home. And then they stay, and Krishna's dancing, and then he leaves. They don't give up their love. He said, I did this not to hurt you, but to glorify you. He says, I was just seeing how much you were anxious for me in my absence. Can you see Krishna here? The gopis can't see him, but can you see him? Yeah. Then he says something very interesting. He says, you've given up all your family to serve me, but I've not given up my family to serve you. So I made this promise, Yetamam prapadyante, but I can't fulfill this promise. Now this is very interesting. Because if I give Krishna everything, he actually gives me everything. And what is my everything? And what is his everything? I will give you everything I have. You will give me everything you have. But what do I have? What do we have? The only thing I have is my free will. Everything else I have belongs to Krishna anyway. And he has everything. He is everything. I mean everything. Not just this Chennai. He has everything here. All of India, whole planet, whole solar system, whole universe, lots of universes, whole spiritual world. So I give him my free will, he gives me the whole spiritual world. Yes. Like the different kinds of liberation. He will give you a form just like him. He'll give you opulence equal to him. Equal. Even you have a good friend, will you give them opulence equal to you? Probably not. He will give opulence equal to him. So who gets more? Always the devotee gets more. It's always a better deal for the devotee. But here Krishna says, no. See the opposite of the merchant mentality. Objectively, I give Krishna what? Nothing, practically speaking. I give him my free will. What is that to him? And he's giving me, he said, I'll share my opulences with you. You can have equal power to mine. Equal pleasure. So if we made an Excel sheet for this mediation, what would it look like? But Krishna is not a merchant, and he is thinking, no, I'm not giving enough. You're giving more than I'm giving. So I have to keep giving to you forever because I can never repay. And then he says also something else very interesting. And if we can understand this next thing, we can be very happy. He said, please be happy with your own service. You see, in this world, the way I think of love is I want to be loved. I am thinking love is something I have to get from somebody else or something else. You have to love me and then I will be happy. People think this way with a dog also. I noticed there was this, it's becoming now in India, the keeping dogs. There was a place we passed here called like the drool place, where they like, take care of your dog. Thinking, you know what drool is? When the saliva comes out of your mouth? When you have dogs, they have always saliva coming out of their mouth. Like the drool palace or something, where we take care of your dogs. But we are thinking that, I need my dog to love me, my wife, my husband, my parents, my children, my boss. They have to love me or else I am incomplete. But Krishna is saying, don't worry about how much I love you, because I will never love you enough. He's saying it's impossible. He's saying, I cannot love you enough for how much you love me. So you be happy with how much you love me. Let's think about that for a moment. Have we ever felt satisfied with our own giving and our own love to somebody else? Yes. Wasn't that a higher satisfaction than feeling happy with how somebody loved me? And what is my love for Krishna? Is Krishna present in my love for Krishna? My love for Krishna, is Krishna there? Is Krishna there? If I'm feeling that I love Krishna, that feeling, does it contain Krishna himself? Must. So as soon as I feel my love for Krishna, I'm feeling something that's unlimited. Bhaktisiddhanta says this, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, that the finite jiva can feel infinite happiness. Do you know what gives us infinite happiness? Our own love for Krishna. This is why the great devotees will say, I don't want anything from you, I just want to love you. I just want to serve you. Because when I am feeling that love for Krishna, I am feeling something infinite, even though I am a little jiva. And when I am filled with that love for Krishna, it doesn't matter how Krishna reciprocates in one sense. It just doesn't matter. It certainly doesn't matter how other jivas reciprocate. If I am feeling that love for Krishna, which then goes to all living beings, why would it matter if somebody betrays me, if somebody hurts me, if somebody this is me or that's me or the other thing to me? I'd be satisfied with my own love. So now the gopis started to think, Krishna wanted to establish our superiority. Krishna wanted to be in debt to us. That's why he gave us up. The reason he left was to establish our superiority. We were the bad people here. We tried to defeat him. We tried to criticize him with our riddles. We were not virtuous. But he was trying to establish our excellence. So Krishna says to the gopis, you love me more than I can love you. And the gopis are thinking, no, you love us, you love me more than we can love you. Because we were criticizing you and you were glorifying us. So thank you very much. This is now the start of the Ras Leela. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Can raise their hand if they have any questions. We can have a few minutes of questions and answers.
Timing is okay? Speed was okay? Speed was okay? Everybody's speed was okay?
It was perfect. Any questions? You raise your hand. Okay.
Mataji, I had a question. Like those devotee, like who will expect from the relationship, even if he do not need it, would we call him also selfish? For example, let us say we have our mother and father, and even though we have something, but expecting that because they are my parents and they should give me, and that will be in their own glory only, that they are providing me this.
You go deep and you ask Krishna the answer to that question. So you ask if I am really wanting them to give me for their glory, or I am wanting because I am a merchant or I am ungrateful. Generally, Prabhupada said, the mood of the children toward the parents is ungrateful. Generally. And therefore, Prabhupada says, the religions that just see God as the Father tend not to be so loving. Because we expect. And we tend not to be grateful. Honestly, I did not appreciate my parents until I became a parent. Honestly. And most people will say this. And then I'm like, wow, my parents did this for me? Whoa. So generally, the mood of expecting from our parents, it's either merchant or usually it's ungrateful. Usually it's just, of course they have to do it. They're my parents. It's that kind of mood. Usually. But if you want to try to engage your parents in service for their benefit, that's another thing. But just be introspective and prayerful. And it can be mixed, you know, if we're not pure. These things can be mixed also. There can be, because bhakti is gradual and proportional. So sometimes there's something that's nice, but it's still mixed with something that's not nice.
Mataji, at the conclusion of whole presentation, as a sadhaka, are we just to practice cultivating this attitude of trying to be happy in just giving?
Yes.
So is it the purpose of whole?
Yes, but be careful, because if we're not very pure and we try to artificially force ourselves, but actually in our heart we're a merchant, then we will explode at some point. So if I'm just saying I'm giving, but inside there's someone going 2 points over there, 10 points over there, 3 points over there, 20 points over there. After a while you go, there's only 5 points on my side and 5,000 points on the other side. Ah! So one also has to be honest about one's own position. So we want to work at cultivating a genuine giving spirit, and at the same time, we want to be honest. Honesty enables us to understand that my unhappiness with other people is due to my own merchant mentality or my own ungratefulness, and therefore not to blame the other person.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay? And I can even sometimes say that to the other person. I can say, look, I'm unhappy with you really because of my own lack of selflessness. And I'm really sorry. I'm not able to function on that level. And you know, it's driving me crazy that I'm not getting any kind of reciprocation from you, and I'm just not able to function. I'm sorry. I realize that my mood is exploitive, and I realize that my mood is improper, but I'm just kind of dying here, and I don't know what to do. There's also very nice, His Holiness Bir Krishna Maharaj teaches this thing called nonviolent communication, where you ask other people for what you need and what you want in a way that is not so exploitive. And basically where you see that you still want something from others, but you're not going to demand that you get them in a certain way from a certain person. So it's a very good interim way to deal so you don't damage your relationships. And ultimately, if you practice nonviolent communication, you can remind yourself that really I should be going to Krishna for this, not my husband, my wife, my mother, my kid, my temple president. That really it's only Krishna who will meet my needs. So there are ways of thinking and communicating that can help us to deal while we're still advancing. But we should be aiming for that. So honesty isn't just, well, I'm a merchant and that's just what I am, so I'm just going to act like a pig. You know, that's not what we mean by honesty. What we mean by honesty is, okay, this is where I'm at right now, and I want to move ahead. It's not an excuse for my current bad behavior. It's a taking responsibility for my current bad behavior and trying to keep moving ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, sometimes this happens that both the devotees are good, but in that relationship it happens that a devotee wants to uh, uh, always help the other devotee, always be grateful to him, but the other side, the devotee is not able to understand that how much the other devotee is serving from his side, and at several occasions, not seeing his own fault, the devotee might be seeing the lackings from the other side.
It's very common. So, whose perspective do you want? The giving devotee, the ungrateful devotee, or a third party?
My question is, Mataji, that what a giving devotee should continue to do?
It depends on their service.
If it's as
Depends on
close-
their service.
If it,
It's just like the Majjhima Bhakta is not supposed to preach to atheists. You know, so if somebody doesn't want what you're giving, maybe you give to somebody else who wants it. I mean, that's just common sense. If you're trying to force somebody to take what you have, that's also selfish. You have to accept what I'm giving because I'm giving it out of love for you. So, you know, that's another thing. People have free will, and if a person isn't open to what you have, then you also accept, and you're satisfied with your own mood of giving, whether they accept it or not. You're satisfied. What's satisfying you is my own love that I'm giving, and I shouldn't really be giving to you. I should be doing it to please Krishna. I shouldn't be teaching this class to make any of you happy. I should be teaching this class to make him happy. Some of you may not be happy. Some of you may even be critical. Was she talking on such high things about Krishna and the gopis? I don't know. Right to the GBC. Urmila's talking about the gopis in a public class. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody might do that. People are funny. I mean, seriously, people are really funny sometimes. We had this interfaith thing at Chennai. You know, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Sri Vaishnavas, Catholics, and Protestants. So I posted a picture on Facebook from the interfaith conference, and I had somebody sent me a message. Why are you associating with people who don't accept Radharani? Just like, what? Hare Krishna. So, I didn't go there to please everybody on the planet. You know, they're pleased, they're not pleased. Is Krishna pleased? And even if Krishna's apparently not pleased, like Mother Yasoda goes to take care of the milk, Krishna becomes angry. But she's satisfied with her effort to please Krishna. So I've come here to teach this because I'm trying to please Prabhupada and I'm trying to please Krishna. That's my desire. I mean, it's mixed. I'm also thinking I'm a great, wonderful preacher and all that kind of rubbish. That's there. But I'm thinking I want to please them. But if the audience is not pleased, I go someplace else. I'm not going to try to force. I had a situation in Bali. The only time I had this situation. Only time in my life. So I was asked to give a talk at a college, a university, Hindu school, Hindu university. So the heads of the school, they came up with me and took a photograph. And then they left. They just wanted the photograph, so they left. Okay. So then there were the students, I don't know, 500, 700, big auditorium, and the professors were also there. It had to be translated. And first I was sitting on the stage with the translator. Everybody was on their phones and talking. I mean, like 90%. And talking. I'd never seen anything like that. I mean, maybe 5%. You know, if you're giving a Sunday feast class, you expect people are coming in and out. And so I thought, okay. So I stood up. That didn't do anything. So I got off the stage. That didn't do anything. I poured 10 times the energy into my talk. That didn't do anything. Walking up and down the aisles, I took the microphone, I was walking around, going right up to people. I'm not joking. I mean, I went right up to someone. They were talking to their friends on the phone. I'm standing right next, this close, and then I looked at them. And when I looked at them, they looked up at me for a minute. And then they ignored me again. And they were talking on their phones. Never in my life have I seen anything like this. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 people, but not like 90%. And I'm just like, it was really hard to give that class. It was really, really difficult. And then at the end I said, okay, no questions. I'm done. Finished. So one of the professors said, no, we want you to take questions. I said, then everybody has to put away their phones. And then I started acting like I was teaching 5-year-olds. I said, and you sit over there, and you sit over there, and you sit over there. I said, I'm not doing anything else here. And they listened. I mean, I felt kind of funny because they were university students, you know, and I'm treating them like they're 5-year-olds. You sit there, separate from your friend, you know. Put your phone in your bag. You know, it was crazy. And I thought, I'm not coming to this place anymore. I told the devotees hosting me, I said, don't bring me anymore to this place. So sometimes maybe practical. But if we're feeling offended, that's another thing. Then we're a merchant. As soon as we feel offended, that's the symptom. Or if we try to force, I'm doing so much for you, you should listen to me. Why are you so ungrateful? Those are the little warning lights. Merchant, 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 merchant. That's all right. It's okay. It's okay. We're allowed to be as fallen as we are because we are as fallen as we are. So we're allowed to be what we are because we are what we are. But then you look at the warning light and you go, oops. Sorry, Krishna. Sorry. Okay. What can I do to fix this? How can I come to another level? What can I do? What can I do genuinely? What would please you? What would be the most pleasing for you for how I deal with this devotee? Should I just leave them alone? Should I back off maybe, 90%? What should I do? And Krishna, let me try to be satisfied with my own service, whether somebody takes it or not. And you respect everybody's free will, let me respect their free will also. And the mind will calm down. Because the mind will be going, it's just the mind. It's not me. And it'll calm down. You don't have to try to stop it. You don't have to go, no, I'm not that kind of a person. I'm not that kind of a person. That's not going to work. And just, well, I guess I am that kind of a person. I'll just be that kind of a person. That's not going to work either. So just, oh, I'm pretty fallen, huh? Oh, look at that mind. Going and going and going and going and going. Okay. You go on, mind. Do whatever you want to do. Krishna, how can I please you? And after a while, the mind gets tired of being ignored and shuts up. For a while, it'll come back. Is that all right? Last question. Yes. Anybody here? Any of the ladies? Did you memorize the whole class? I'm really impressed with her.
Okay, no questions from Mataji.
You sure? Anybody? Any questions from our Hindi people? Any question you can translate into English? Sure? Okay, yes.
Krishna Mataji. So I had this question. Now there again the same case. Two devotees are there. One devotee is giving a lot selflessly. The other devotee, he is able to see what is getting, but he's not able to act in that capacity. He's not able to reciprocate. For many years, there's no progress. Like as you said, we need to understand our faults and we need to move on. Also, that move on is taking a lot of time, like many years to come. So also this merchant tendency kicks in where we understand they are giving a lot and we are not able to give anything again.
So you're talking from the ungrateful person.
Ungrateful person.
So he was talking from the giving person, now you're asking from the ungrateful person. So you're asking, what should the ungrateful person do?
Yes.
Oh, that's much easier. That's much easier. Meditate on what they're doing for you. That's much easier. I mean, anybody can do that. Even materialists can do that. You don't have to be chanting Hare Krishna to do that. I mean, seriously, you can be drinking alcohol and eating meat and you can do this. This is not so difficult. You just simply have to turn your attention to what the other person is doing.
Not just appreciate, but like even contribute. How to
well, you're not going to contribute unless you appreciate. That's just a habit. It's just a question of cultivating a habit. So there's so many systems, organizations, and that will teach you how to cultivate what are they called? An attitude of gratitude. I mean, completely ordinary atheistic, materialistic people can learn how to do this. So it's something that it's not that hard to do. Like you make a list every day before you go to bed. What are the 10 things I'm grateful for? And what are the 10 things I'm grateful for this person? By the way, you'll be healthier too. Now seriously, there's a lot of studies, grateful people are healthier. So that's much easier. And then to think, okay, well, what can I do? All you have to do is be appreciative. It's not necessary that everyone who gives to me, I have to give back to them. That's not necessary. That's not even possible. I mean, I'm here in Chennai, people are cooking for me. What am I going to do? I'm going to cook for all of them. You know, that's not practical. I tried to do some good for them, but I may not, you may be doing for me, but I may be doing for you. You know, I may not be able to give back to all the people who give to me like that. That's not always in my capacity. But I can be appreciative. I cannot have a view of entitlement. Of course they're giving to me. I am great. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. Everybody should be giving to me, of course. You know. But yeah, that's just a habit. And it's a good idea to make a habit of gratitude in general. I can walk. You know, not everybody can walk. I can hear. Not everybody can hear. I can see. Even if I can see with glasses, I'm grateful I can get glasses. Not everybody can get glasses. I mean, really, I can be grateful at every moment for everything. But it's a matter of practice. Yeah, the sun rises in the morning. That's just what it does. Okay. I get on my bike and it starts, of course. Yeah, just does that. You know, I chew food and swallow it and I digest it. Just works. There's rice on my plate. I eat it and it turns into fingers. There you go. You know, just think about it. It's a question of just being a little conscious. Wow. My fingers are made out of rice. Whoa, how did that happen? And the rice is made out of sunshine. That means my fingers are made out of sunshine. Whoa. How did that happen? Krishna did that. Whoa. You know, get a little adbhuta ras in your life. Okay? That just takes practice. And there's so many, I mean, you can look up online and how to develop a gratitude habit, and I'm sure you'll find, I'm sure you'll find 1,000, at least. Most of it free even. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna. So let us thank Her Grace Urmila Devi Mataji for such a meditative as well as lively presentation, just like a theatric presentation. Srila Prabhupada was always wanting the sort of dramas, etc., dioramas, etc., to be there, because when something actually involves more of our senses, it is more of an experiential learning which we actually go through, and therefore the impact on our heart. So because we are not just learning through the intelligence, brain, but actually through our mind and through our heart, we are supposed to have a transformation. So the great teachers always look for opportunities to involve the audience, and in fact to teach such a thing which is so high a subject matter as reciprocation of Krishna, which is what the jiva is hankering for after all. So Mataji very expertly taught us by involving us by the 3D animated presentation and her voice gestures and all expressions and wonderful examples and all that hard work which she did for us. And of course, this is the prime subject matter of the entire Bhagavatam.
I actually didn't do that for you. I created this presentation for a Vaishnavi retreat in Govardhan many years ago.
Then you also gave to us.
I also gave to you. Yes. Yeah. And to do presentations like that, not all my presentations are that level, but to do presentations like that, that takes probably about 80 to 100 hours to do a presentation like that. Yeah. So not all of some of my presentations only put like, some things I only put 5 minutes into, and some things I only put 3 or 4 hours into. But I would suggest if you do teach, that you do think about, okay, how can I engage? Because Amma Mahaprabhu is he's saying this not to glorify me, I hope, but because you did that enough already, but to try to inspire you how to teach and be preachers yourself. So I'm not saying for every class you should put in 80 to 100 hours. I only put in that much time for presentations that I hope to use again and again. But that really do think about how I can serve the audience and how I do something that will be very engaging for them and that they'll remember and that they'll use. Because if you teach something but nobody remembers any of it and nobody uses any of it, you haven't taught anything. Well, I taught, they learned it or not my problem. No, in one sense that's true. But we should have some sense of responsibility that as a teacher I should package things in a way, Krishna does this, that I should package things in a way that people are likely to remember. The other thing is that when we're studying Shastra, we're not just studying Shastra so we can apply it when the class is over. This is not like just a lesson in calculus that you have no idea why you're learning it at all. And maybe you'll use it in your life. I never used any of the calculus. Why I studied that? What a waste of time. But one should also be experiencing bhakti in the class. Because studying Bhagavatam is bhakti. It's an anga of bhakti. So it's not only, I would like that whatever I teach, people take what I've taught and they will apply it. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, next week, next year. That if I come back in a year, that you'll say, I'm applying this thing. I would like that. But also as a teacher, you want people to have some actual experience. Pratyaksha avagamam dharmam. You want people to have some actual experience of Krishna in the class itself. Because who knows, maybe they'll die 2 seconds after the class. You want them to be Krishna conscious? Well, see, I always thought about this as a teacher of children. Because when you teach children, I was an academic teacher. I ran a full academic school. And I always wondered why children who had terminal diseases, that everybody thought it was wonderful that they went to school. And why does a child with a terminal disease have to go to school? What is the point? School is for the future. If there's no future, what is the why? And I thought in a Krishna-based school, it should not just be for the future. The children should be experiencing Krishna now in the school. I think I probably thought that way because one of my students died when she was 3. I was running a nursery school for many years, and I was on Prabhupada's Vyas Puja Day. She had been helping her mother in the kitchen, and she was, not all temples would let a 3-year-old in the kitchen, but anyway, she was helping her mother in the kitchen, and she was just chanting the whole time for Prabhupada. And there was a swimming pool on the property, and during the feast she wandered into the pool. Somebody had left the door unlocked, and she drowned in the pool. And she had been one of my nursery, preschool students. She and my daughter about the same age. And after that incident, I thought, you just don't know. We should try to have the experience of Krishna now. And feel that now. So you should try to teach in such a way. And I once attended a class by Radhika Raman. You know Radhika Raman? No? He was just visiting in Chennai for the interfaith. So he gave a class, it was in Italy at a scholars conference. And when he was speaking, I felt like Krishna was in the room. So when you teach, you should think, how can I invoke the presence of Krishna in the room and give people something they can walk away from? And you don't need to do a whole thing with music, and this is very complicated. But it's something that is involving for people. It's very important. So now we have prasadam.
So apart from putting so much effort, what she taught was such a prime subject matter of Bhagavatam, how to make relationship with Krishna. So this whole subject matter of relationships is very difficult for the jivas to understand. And I was surprised and amazed to see that she directly took the conversation between gopis and Krishna to invoke the Krishna conscious element, and at the same time cover up the conditional nature of all the jivatmas also. So it's like down from the rasa, the mundane rasa, the gross mundane rasa of this world, to the gopi, the highest madhura rasa of the spiritual world. She covered everything in between. The art of the
of mundane subjects, If you just talk about where people are. I mean, that may be okay if you have a business. If that's your business to make money for your griha, that's fine. But as a preacher of Krishna consciousness, if all you talk about is that kind of thing, then it stays in Rajagun, maybe Sattva. And if all you talk is all the way up there, then people are just like, and even if they enjoy the class, they walk away just actually feeling bad. Too high for me, So you want to do both. You always want to do both. I mean, sometimes the proportion is a little different, but you always want to do both.
So if we just apply what she has taught us today about the art of relationships and the heart of Krishna, so we would be very much benefited in our Krishna consciousness, and we can arise this love for Krishna, which is what reciprocation Krishna wants. Krishna wants to give to us. So he makes the devotee wait if he is not a prema, and he intensifies the prema if he already has. And for those who have prema of the highest order of gopis, he glorifies them. So let us thank His Her Grace Urmila Devi Mataji.
I thought you were going to say, let us thank Krishna.
For giving us
that would be more appropriate.
For giving us this wonderful reciprocation of Krishna.
Let us thank Krishna, who is so expertly reciprocating with all the jivas. Shri Krishna ki jai. And let us thank Srila Prabhupada. Without Srila Prabhupada, would any of us understand any of this?
And also let us thank Her Grace Urmila Devi Mataji.
That's enough already. Let's have prasadam. Hare Krishna.
Let us thank her by 3 times loudly chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Her Grace Urmila Devi Mataji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now there will be breakfast prasadam for everyone. Hare Krishna.